as the authorities are working their way to the microphones. This happened, as I mentioned, at 9:30 this morning, Pacific Daylight Time. So it's been about 2 hours and 25 minutes since it happened, and they have done mighty fine work clearing the area and getting people to safety. Now the news conference begins. Let's listen.
Good morning. Mayor Eric Garcetti here with representatives of the law enforcement and public safety community, as well as the administrators of this airport. At about 9:20 this morning, I think most of us know now that an incident occurred here at the airport with a shooter who was actively involved in Terminal 3. I'll be having Chief Gannon from the airport police, from Lawa Police, give you a rundown of what occurred. Gina Marie Lindsay, who is our executive director here at the airport, will inform the traveling public and their loved ones what the situation is here on the ground. But let me just say a couple things. First of all, I want to thank the law enforcement community for their excellent and coordinated response to this incident. We believe this to be a static situation now, a safe one for those that are in the airport, and one in which we are all confident we will be able to conduct the investigation necessary to get all the facts out that no doubt you and the public want to know. Second, we're working very hard in the operations of the airport. If you haven't been able to be in touch with a loved one who was already through security in one of the terminals other than Terminal 3, flights have continued to take off at a slower pace, especially on the south side, which is Terminals 4 through 8. And those folks may actually be in the air right now, so do not worry about that. We have flights that are continuing to land, and Gina Marie Lindsay will walk through that as well. But again, this is a situation we're being proactive. If you have a flight this afternoon, we're encouraging you at this point to stay away from the airport, not because of the safety situation, but because the ongoing investigation makes it a very difficult place to come to and to travel to. Those folks that are here right now, we're encouraging folks to go to, if you're already in the terminals besides Terminal 3 are open and available, the USO, and of course airport hotels that are close by. This will probably be at least a series of hours until we have the other terminals open, and for Terminal 3 an indefinite amount of time. So with that, I'd like to turn over to our chief on the ground here from the Lawa Police, Chief Gannon, to give you a rundown of the incident this morning.
Thank you, Mayor. Patrick Gannon, Gannon. I'm the Chief of Airport Police here at LA International Airport. As the Mayor indicated, 9:20 this morning, an individual came into Terminal 3 of this airport, pulled an assault rifle out of a bag and began to open fire in the terminal. He proceeded up into the screening area where TSA screeners are and continued shooting and went past the screeners back into the airport itself. Personnel and officers from Airport Police, Los Angeles Airport Police, responded immediately to the calls. They tracked the individual through the airport and engaged him in gunfire in Terminal 3, and were able to successfully take him into custody. We had an officer-involved shooting that took place. As you can imagine, a large amount of chaos took place during this entire incident. We believe at this point that there was a lone shooter, that he acted, at least right now, was the only person that was armed in this incident. There's a tremendous amount of investigative work that will need to be done, and I will turn that over to the FBI in just a second and in a little bit. But nonetheless, we have done security sweeps through the entire airport. We feel confident that this particular incident is tied to Terminal 3 and Terminal 3 only. And that's all we have right now. There's a tremendous amount of investigative work that will need to be accomplished. We have multiple victims that have been shot and have been transported. and we've had some other injuries as well, in addition to the suspect himself. So I don't have much more information than that. I don't want to give out information that may not be consistent later on, and so I appreciate your cooperation and just getting this little bit of information out now.
Chief, in terms of the injuries, can you tell us?
Next, we're going to hear from Gina Marie Lindsay, who is the executive director of LAWA, and let folks know in terms of what is happening here at the airport with flights, with the traveling public, with the traffic around the airport right now. Gina Marie Lindsay.
Can you say, was the shooter employed here at the airport at any time?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to let everyone know that technically LAX is still accepting incoming flights, but we are doing that at less than half of our normal arrival rate. We are only accepting those flights on the south airfield. We are not accepting any flights on the north airfield. Passengers that were ready to leave at the time this incident happened have either left on their aircraft or they are holding in the terminals. All of the amenities are available in the terminals. We have aircraft that are also situated on the west as they have not been unloaded yet. There is one or two diversions that we are making to Ontario Airport. I want to encourage any of you who expect to have flights out of this airport this afternoon, please check with your airline. The best, very best, up-to-date information that you can get would be on our Twitter line, which is LAX_official. Again, LAX_official. And that is going to be the most real-time information you can get. We understand there are many people that were not quite in the airport yet when this happened. We encourage you to find a place at some of the hotels along Century Boulevard. And we will, as soon as possible, we will let you know when we will try to get back to full operation, but understand that will take quite a deal of time. It's going to be a logistics, carefully orchestrated logistical ballet to ensure that we can get people reprocessed and back on their flights. I think it's fair to say that almost every flight out of LAX today will be significantly late. Thank you.
Next we have Jim Featherstone, who is our fire chief. Today is his first day as our interim fire chief. He also runs the Emergency Operations Center as the general manager of our emergency management department, and will speak to both the fire and Emergency Operations Center activities.
Good morning, Jim Featherstone, Featherstone. At this time, the LAFD has treated 7 patients, transported 6 to area hospitals. We have approximately 100 firefighters committed to this incident. As Chief Gannon said, this incident initially started somewhere around 9:20. 9:28, the first LAFD resources were on scene. In terms of a more heightened awareness and coordinated effort citywide, the city's Emergency Operations Center has been activated at level 1, has been for well over 2 hours now. So the city is standing tall and leaning forward to deal with any associated issues that happen outside of the actual LAX property.
Thank you. Next, hear from the Chief of Los Angeles Police Department, who's involved in this and some of the operations as well, Chief Charlie Beck.
Very briefly, I want to commend the men and women of LAWA PD and their response in this incident. We have created a unified command with not only LAWA PD, Los Angeles Police Department, TSA, and the FBI, LASO, and other agencies. We will treat this incident with the unified command. Many details that you are interested in will not be given out at this point. We will not speak about the nature of injuries. We will not speak about the identity of the suspect. The investigation is being handled by the FBI with the cooperation of the Los Angeles Police Department. Again, tremendous unified response. I know that this region worries about its airport because of the complex issues involved with various jurisdictions. It was handled very well today. Thank you.
Hold on one second. We'll next hear from the FBI Special Agent in Charge, Special Agent Bowich, to talk a little bit about the investigation.
Hi, David Bowditch, Special Agent in Charge of the FBI. B as in boy, O-W-D-I-C-H. First off, we're working hand in hand with our partners here to include the Los Angeles Police Department, the LA Airport Police, in respect to this investigation. This investigation is ongoing. I'm going to give you very little facts today, very few facts. We are working with the U.S. Attorney's Office as well as all our partners. I'm not going to talk about the victims today. We still have people we have to be in contact with in the meantime. We are going to bring our resources to bear in conjunction with our partners here, which would include our evidence response team and any other necessary resources. At this point, we do not see any additional threats here at the airport.